我男朋友给我买了房子就不见了，我怎么才能找到他呀？
My boyfriend bought me a house and then disappeared. How can I find him? We hadn't known each other for long when he bought me the house. He told me it was love at first sight, but as soon as he bought the house, I lost contact with him. I don't even know if something happened to him. He paid the down payment, and the house is under my name. But now, how do I pay the mortgage?
这个贷款怎么还呀？
你应该是被套路了，
You've likely been scammed. Since selling houses is tough now, developers hire people to act as boyfriends, offering houses in the name of love. The down payment was likely covered by the developer, and the goal is for you to take on the mortgage. Once you're caught in this trap, there's no way out. Even if you find that fake boyfriend, it won't help. You'll either have to pay the mortgage or face legal consequences.
In the video, this girl was still thrilled that her boyfriend bought her a house, but by the time she realized something was wrong, it was too late. She had fallen into a new type of housing scam. Chinese lawyer Dai Jinghua shared a similar case online.
男朋友送首付购房，到底是陷阱还是馅饼？
Is my boyfriend's offer to pay the down payment a gift or a trap? Recently, a journalist friend told me about a new type of scam. In this case, a boyfriend convinces his girlfriend to buy a house by offering to pay the down payment. The property is under her name, and she's responsible for the mortgage. Soon after, they break up, and that's when the woman realizes it was a scam. With down payments relatively low, mortgages tend to be much higher. In reality, these scams are hard to prove as fraud because they appear to be gifts. However, it resembles a high-interest, zero-down payment purchase, where the overall price is inflated to cover the loan, and the inflated portion is used as the down payment. Essentially, the buyer ends up paying the full loan without realizing it. From the victim's point of view, it seems like they've saved on the down payment, but in reality, they haven't. This scam can easily target single women, especially those of marriageable age who are looking to settle down and buy a house. It's hard to guard against this type of scam when buying a home is part of the marriage process. But this scam doesn't just target single women. Many single men also fall into the trap.
还没结婚的男人千万要小心这个最新的套路。
If you're a single man, be careful this latest scam. We've all heard of wine scams, but now there's something similar with real estate. You meet a girl who fits your expectations, even meets your parents, and everything goes smoothly. Then comes the time to talk about marriage. The girl suggests you buy a house, but she reassures you not to add her name on the deed, and she doesn't expect you to pay it in full, just a down payment. You think there's no scam, right? But she'll then insist you buy in a specific complex, saying she can get you a discount. It all seems harmless. You pay the down payment and purchase in her suggested complex, but by then, you've already been scammed. That girl is actually a real estate agent earning commission from your purchase. Once she finds a reason to break up, you're left responsible for the mortgage. The property is under your name, and the entire process is legal, so there's no loophole. Scary, right? Especially for men in the 30s who are eager to get married. It's easy to fall for this.
The reason these scams are spreading in mainland China is closely related to the real estate market crisis. According to a Reuters report on September 14th, new home prices in China fell at their fastest pace over 9 years in August. Based on data from the National Bureau of Statistics, new home prices dropped 5.3% compared to the previous year, the steepest decline since May 2015, following a 4.9% drop in July. On a monthly basis, new home prices have fallen for 14 consecutive months, with a 0.7% decrease, similar to July's. Overall, in the first 7 months of this year, real estate investment fell by 10.2%, and home sales plummeted by 18%. A report by the CRIC Research Center on August 1st revealed that sales by China's top 100 real estate developers dropped by 20% in July, totaling around 279.1 billion yuan, around $3.9 billion US dollars. This marked an increase from the 17% drop in June, with sales falling 36% month-on-month. A separate Reuters survey predicts that as the real estate sector struggles to stabilize, home prices will decline by 8.5% in 2024 and 3.9% in 2025. Meanwhile, developers burdened by debt, unfinished projects, and waning seller confidence continue to weigh on China's economy, threatening its 5% growth target for this year. Under these conditions, developers, real estate agencies, and even banks are using any means necessary to offload their inventory, giving rise to a variety of new housing scams. First, we have the most common method, fake buyers, known as home props. These props are hired by developers to create the illusion of high demand at sales offices.
Don't buy a house. Look at the sales office. It's filled with fake buyers hired by developers for 500 yuan a day. Some are pretending to check out floor plans. Others pretend to calculate prices. Some even stand in line to claim prizes. And others bring their kids just to eat free snacks. They all put on quite the show.
A Chinese journalist went undercover at the sales office of a development in Guangzhou and found that the bustling atmosphere was all staged. This journalist worked undercover for a day and earned just 75 yuan, around $10. Before starting, the office even trained the fake buyers on how to act. Another man from Tianjin advised against getting involved in these home props, calling them despicable.
Recently in Tianjin, there's been a group of people profiting off developers by posing as fake buyers to inflate sales. I don't mind them profiting from developers, but I wonder if they realize that someone might lose their life savings by falling for the fake buzz they're creating. You take your 200 yuan paycheck and leave, but that person who bought the wrong house might have wasted years of hard work, throwing their family into financial hardship. How is this any different from the scams run by criminal groups? It's just as heartless.
The second housing scam involves shady marketing tactics by sales offices, with middlemen working behind the scenes.
It starts with a sales event at the real estate office. Even though prices have actually dropped, customers leave thinking they've gone up. So why are people rushing to buy? Let me explain with an example. Have you ever watched live stream shopping? At the beginning of the stream, what do? They offer deals, like eyebrow pencils for 6.6 yuan or laundry detergent for 9.9 yuan. They give you a small taste of the benefits to build excitement. As more people place orders, the hype increases, and soon they limit prices and quantities to start raking in the profit. Real estate sales even use the same trick, but with a floor price mechanism. This floor price is the average for a batch of properties, and all the properties must be sold above this average. The initial units offered might not be the best, but are the cheapest, 3,950 yuan per square meter, including renovation, or 5,480 yuan with a parking space. They use these low prices to spark buying interest. If they can create enough buzz to get people lined up outside, it's even better. In this situation, houses that used to sell for 6,288 yuan per square meter can be pushed up to 7,288 yuan. Thanks to the floor price system, the sales office rarely loses money, and they might even profit from the price hikes.
At the sales office, developers also try to create a sense of urgency by marking properties as sold out on the public boards, making buyers believe there are fewer units available. This adds pressure, pushing buyers to sign contracts and pay deposits without fully considering their decision. In some cases, developers even engage in hoarding practices. After receiving pre-sale permits, they don't release all units at once. Instead, they open new units in stages based on demand, creating an illusion of high sales. This is similar to what happened in the Yunshu Mansion development in Nanjing in 2017. The project received pre-sale permits for 2 buildings, totaling 1,051 units. But when it opened, not all units were listed. The sales floor was missing a large portion of the available properties. The third type of scam involves home props, using relatives or friends.
For example, imagine you have a good friend or a relative who wants to buy a house, but for some reason, they want the property to be under your name. They offer to pay the full amount and give you 100,000 yuan as a thank you for the trouble. It sounds great, right? It's like getting a house for free plus extra cash. Even highly educated people have fallen for this. In 2023 alone, there have been dozens of similar cases across China. So how does this scam work? Let's say the house is worth 5 million yuan. The scammers put down 1 million for the down payment, give you 100,000 yuan as a thank you, and ask you to buy the house under your name. Then, before the loan process is complete, they tell you their bank loan didn't go through, and they need to secure financing from another institution. Since the house is in your name, they ask you to sign the paperwork, promising another 100,000 yuan for your trouble. But once you sign, you unknowingly take on loans totaling 3 million yuan. By the time you realize what's happened, The scammers have disappeared with 1.8 million yuan they conned out of you, leaving you with the down payment and the loans.
The fourth type of scam involves so-called real estate teachers who claim to guide you to the right property.
今年最流行的房地产骗局之一。
One of the most popular scams this year involves a teacher claiming to guide you through the housing market. You might have come across videos like this. In the video, someone says, "Soon the real estate market will hit rock bottom and then rebound. If you buy the right house now, your wealth will soar and you'll achieve financial freedom in no time." Sounds tempting, right? That's how people get scammed. The scammers claim that the US dollar will stop raising interest rates, money will flow back into the market, and prices, including real estate, will rise. They warn that if you don't invest in property, your money will lose value. The teacher will then boast about how many properties they've bought in certain areas, saying that in 2 years, the prices will go up 30%, and in 5 years, they'll double. And so the viewers get convinced and end up buying properties in the areas the scammer suggests.
Besides these four housing scams, the biggest scam Chinese consumers face in the home buying process comes from the CCP's housing policies. Despite launching a series of major measures to boost the market, there are still no signs of recovery. In response, the CCP has introduced another round of pro-buying policies. On September 24th, the People's Bank of China unveiled a set of economic stimulus plans. At a press conference held by the State Council Information Office, PBOC Governor Pan Gongsheng announced that the reserve requirement ratio would be lowered by 0.5%, injecting 1 million yuan of long-term liquidity into the financial market. The most significant move is the change in mortgage policies. Pan mentioned that existing mortgage rates would be reduced by 0.5%, and the minimum down payment for second homes would be cut from 25% to 15%, the same as for first homes. This policy aims to benefit 150 million people and reduce interest payments by 150 billion yuan. An online user raised the question, will lowering mortgage rates really make people more eager to buy houses? This can be explained by the famous viewpoint of Chinese real estate mogul Wang Jianlin, that no country's real estate market can thrive for more than 50 years. As early as 2019, when major real estate companies were expanding aggressively, Wang took a different approach by selling office property projects and exiting the market. Generally speaking, after about 20 years of development, a country's real estate market reaches its peak. Housing supply and demand are exhausted, and combined with current birth rates, it's not difficult to predict what the market will look like in 2025. First, housing prices will continue to fall, with properties either remaining unsold or being sold below market value. This is due to an oversupply of homes and a sharp increase in second-hand listings. Then there will be the issue of high vacancy rates, over 20% in third and fourth-tier cities, and around 15% in major cities. Without buyers, how can prices rise? Additionally, the housing bubble has yet to fully burst, especially in third and fourth-tier cities, which have seen explosive development in recent years. Once the bubble bursts, prices may fall to unimaginable levels. Therefore, the housing market in 2025 could be even more challenging. First-tier cities may fare slightly better with policy support, but third and fourth-tier cities will struggle. Guangdong-based blogger Zhou Yuanyuan believes that the authorities are truly desperate this time, launching a combination of measures, some of which are being used for the first time. However, she also mentioned that Rome wasn't built in a day. The deep-rooted issues in the stock market, which have plagued A-shares for years, clearly won't be solved by just one meeting. The authorities are merely putting on a show of trying to solve the problem, as they can't afford to lose lucrative stockholders. The CCP's claim to stabilize the real estate market to stop the decline is really just an attempt to maintain stability and lure those who haven't yet fallen into the real estate trap. On September 26, the CCP's Politburo held a meeting to specifically analyze the current economic situation. They emphasized the need to introduce more incremental policies and, for the first time, called for efforts to stabilize the real estate market and stop the decline. In simpler terms, their goal is to speed up clearing out real estate inventory. Why mention stabilizing the real estate market at this moment? According to a report from Financial News, on September 27th, the real estate market in August remained in an adjustment phase, with the total sales area of newly built commercial housing in 100 major cities nationwide dropping by 27% compared to the same period last year. This decline was even larger than in July, reflecting significant ongoing pressure on the real estate market and a continued contraction in demand. This marks the first time the goal of stopping the decline and stabilizing the real estate market has been mentioned. The focus is on strictly controlling new inventory, optimizing existing stock, and improving quality through various means to promote stabilization. This differs significantly from previous policies, which aimed for the stable and healthy development of the real estate market. Additionally, with a series of real estate stimulus measures recently introduced, including reducing existing mortgage rates, it raises the question, does this mean the real estate market is truly about to stabilize? Financial News suggests that it depends on when the market demand begins to recover. Factors such as inventory pressure, the time it takes to clear inventory, and market prices will reflect changes in demand to some extent. As of now, the real estate market's de-inventory cycle stands at 25.2 months, indicating significant pressure to clear stock. At the same time, the number of transactions, sales areas, and transaction prices have all seen noticeable declines, which means there is still heavy pressure for the market to stabilize. In reality, the current state of the housing market is far from the stabilization the CCP is referring to. A real estate blogger from Jinan, Shandong, noted that after the CCP's high-level meeting where stabilizing the market was emphasized, some have misinterpreted this message into claims that the real estate market will rebound and rise. He said that this statement has left many homeowners feeling unsure and confused. He has received more than 30 calls from property owners, including those who already have their homes listed for sale. There are two conflicting thoughts in their minds. One side says, the property has been listed for so long. If someone is willing to buy it now, I should just sell it. I've already lost so much, and if I don't sell now, I might lose even more next year. Better to cut my losses and get out. The other side argues the government just held a meeting, and they're pumping money to rescue the market. Experts and the media are hyping up the idea that prices will soon rebound. Maybe I should wait a bit longer, recover my losses, and then sell. The real estate blogger concluded by saying, will the housing market really stabilize? Don't count on it. The hesitation from both homeowners and buyers is exactly what the CCP aims to achieve. The CCP excels at using vague policies to accomplish its goals. This time, their proposal to stabilize the real estate market has been interpreted as sending a signal that the market will soon recover, or at least guiding the public to believe this. The purpose of the ambiguity is to lure more unsuspecting people into the housing market and make them pay for the government's mistakes. In other words, the CCP's goal with this statement is to entice people to buy houses as part of a larger scam. Whether buyers profit or lose in the process is of no concern to them. Stephen Mosher, president of the Population Research Institute, commented on China's real estate industry, which makes up about 60% of the economy. Mosher told the Epoch Times, the economy, this giant Ponzi scheme built on this type of real estate development, is in the middle of collapsing right before our very eyes. Corrupt policies have led officials at all levels to use real estate development as a way to make money, resulting in overbuilding. With a housing surplus of 600 million units, it will take a generation to absorb this excess. This vast Ponzi scheme, dependent on continuous real estate development, is now collapsing before our eyes. The favorable policies and positive signals released by the CCP are nothing more than a blatant effort to extract wealth from the people. The ultimate goal is to impoverish the public while enriching the CCP.